And we're live.
Did you guys see? The CIA terror report that got released?
A little bit. I feel like I've read about it, but I haven't read the actual terror report.
There's they said there was 90,000 pages of actual descriptions of interrogations and stuff that's not been released. But what they did release was examples of things they did, all this. The one guy they anally fed him so many times his butthole prolapsed.
Yeah, rectal hydration they called it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And rectal feeding. I don't even know how that works. You really gotta get in there deep to get some food in there.
I know, right?
He's just ah! If you can taste it, it's so far if your ass can taste it. It's like a.
The worst was that
in a playground.
I don't think it works. Does it work that way at all?
I don't know what they were doing, but they were putting stuff up these guys' butts and threatening. It was a lot of harsh stuff that is torture. It's
they said Cheney knew about it all, and Cheney was like, "Look, George W. Bush knew about everything. We had to get his approval to move forward on this." So it seems like Bush was involved, according to Cheney, who I don't know. I don't trust him. Maybe I only just like what he said, but it was rough.
Believe in Jesus Christ. Put that shit up their butt.
And one of the cool things I like that it's coming out, the details of the fact that they lied their way into the Iraq War, right? It started off with, hey, look, we had a CIA intelligence failure. Sorry about that, my bad. And as the details emerge, there was a willful lying campaign, cherry-picking evidence, making shit up. There was it's called a cable. The cable apparently is like an email between countries. And there is this cable between Czechoslovakia and America saying that the people involved in the 9/11 attack met with Iraqi intelligence in Czechoslovakia. And apparently that's total bullshit. It's discredited. Czechoslovakia is I would gladly show you this cable. It's horse shit. And they use that as one of the pieces of evidence that led to the Iraq War. And the United States is still keeping that hush-hush. We lied our way into making excuses for the Iraq War. And I particularly like this. Me personally, I was never on board for that war. I felt like 99% of the country wanted to rush off to war in Iraq. The Bush administration was continually mentioning 9/11 and Iraq war in the same sentence. They said, we don't want the next 9/11 to be a mushroom cloud and we have to go into Iraq. And they'd mention 9/11 and the Iraq War together so often that it made you think we were going to Iraq in a retaliation for 9/11. And we weren't. It was horseshit. It was never true. And now that's coming out. And I like it. I think future presidents should know, hey, dude, you do this shit. 6 years later, it's going to be common knowledge what a shithead liar you were. Thousands of people died. Thousands of Americans died. Tens of thousands or 100,000 Iraqi people died. The standard of the burden of proof for going to war should be higher than the burden of proof for capital murder, right? If I'm going to put you to the death for the death penalty, we're really pretty darn sure that you did it. Yet somehow, we go to Iraq and kill tens of thousands of people on a hunch, hoping that we find some evidence after we do it.
You know what? Bush don't give a fuck. He still collects his presidential check. He still lives at his ranch up in Texas. And he probably still has the bitches on tap.
Yeah, Laura.
Woohoo!
If you think Laura is his only bitch, you were sadly mistaken.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I would guess that the W sex drive is pretty low. Guy's got to be 70 years old. How old is he?
He's doing a lot of painting now, from what I understand.
Is he really?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen his painting?
He's a painter now.
His painting?
It's George W. Bush, so he's painting peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and grilled cheese and
no, it's a lot of portraits.
Posts.
He's 68.
68.
It's a lot of portraits.
I'm gonna throw up a counterball, Hugh Hefner.
I hear you. Anyway,
what? You broke up there.
He said Hugh Hefner.
Bill Clinton would be another good candidate for high sex drive old age.
I saw some.
Well, he doesn't have an option with Hillary.
Oh man, I saw a picture of Bill Clinton the other day, and it was on Reddit, and he was looking down this woman's top because she didn't know a picture was being taken. Still at whatever age he's at, he's still creeping on women. I love it. You think it's a joke and a stereo. It's some SNL joke, and it's probably not true. But then every time he gets an opportunity, he's just he's flirting with some woman or looking down some woman's dress. There's like so many times he's done it. It's
The
great.
guy's a dog, man.
Yeah.
This makes me want to go right to Cosby, but I fear you covered Cosby already.
Yeah, we talked about
See,
Cosby's
like that's the
rape.
thing about getting old. Like that's weird. Is like you expect that your sex, like when you look at old people, you expect like how could they still be interested in sex? How could they still give a fuck about tits or ass or whatever? Like, but in the truest sense, they still do. They still want the 20-something-year-old pussy. They just can't get it. They're interested in it. Like they're just so fucking old. Like Woody, how have you noticed your sex drives changed through the decades?
I don't know that my sex drive has changed, but in terms of like what's hot, I'll say this. When I was 15, I thought 15-year-old women, or girls, I guess, were the hottest thing in the world. And when I was like 17, I thought 17-year-olds were the hottest thing. But at 15, I thought 17-year-olds were kind of fat, and like 15-year-olds were hotter. Then somewhere around like 18, 19, then I just started adding to. It was like at 19, I thought 19-year-olds were the hottest thing in the world, but 28-year-olds, not that hot. You turn 28 and you're like, yeah, 18s are still hot up through 28. You turn 40 and like I can really appreciate an attractive 40-year-old woman. So now my range is 18 to 40. I just keep adding to it. I hope that when I'm 60, I'll be like, that's a smoking hot 60-year-old. And my range goes from 18 to 60.
It's like the No MILF Left Behind Act or something.
Yeah. I've done the cutoff rate. The cutoff 56 for Jordy.
56?
56, huh?
It's a very specific
56.
age.
Well, the
I
reason
think there's a
56 is
good reason.
specific age is because like that's the I've only met one person that was like 56 that I'd still bang, and like
Who is
that's
that?
where I set the bar at.
Famous, or you actually know her? Know her?
Nowhere.
Oh, I thought you meant like an actress.
No, I have to give up the name. Do we know her?
You don't know her, no.
How do you know her?
Well, they fucked.
Deals,
What did you say, Wings?
drug deals.
Oh, okay. So, huh.
But I'm just saying, like 50. I mean, she's 56. I'm like, well, if I got the chance, I'd probably hit her. I wouldn't take her around my friends and keep her on my arm or nothing. But one night stand
So
kind of thing.
she was coming around the house to buy drugs.
Yeah.
What drug is it that keeps you so vibrant?
I don't want to say too much on a public forum. I will write it out.
Yeah. Better stop now.
Oh, I don't even know that drug.
Is that a prescription drug?
That is a prescription drug.
What is it? I couldn't even hear you.
It's in the
I
chat. He doesn't
typed
want to
it.
say it. But this is not a. Is it a painkiller of some sort?
It is a painkiller.
Maybe
Is
if I
that the
down
old
some of
woman's
that.
name? That's what it looks like.
I thought it was too. I was like, is it a black woman?
Let's go. Aw.
That's my cleaning lady's name.
I just want to
No,
be
it's
hot enough for
not.
Wings of Redemption to have sex with 15 years from now. That's why I wanted to know. This stuff is the fountain of
few
youth.
at 56. I mean, like, I've never met a woman that's like 60 or 70. I'm like, I'd really like to fuck her.
Nah.
And I usually go for older women. Almost all my girlfriends have been older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was gonna ask Woody, if you grew up around, because you keep going to your age or younger, did you spend a lot of time with older women or older girls in school? Like, if you were in 6th grade, you didn't hang out with like 8th graders very much, did you?
No, I didn't really.
So I was listening to you, and it sounds like the same pattern, but I was always around older people, so I always was attracted to older people. Where you had your exact peers, you're attracted to your exact peers. So it's kind of like whoever you're around, that's gonna set your own, your own preference. Like I was around brunettes all the time, so I'm not really attracted to blondes. It just doesn't do it for me.
I prefer brunette too.
I don't really care about the age so much. I mean, obviously they need to be legal, but beyond that, like if they're attractive, and that's all that matters. Like a number
With
would.
mannerisms?
What's that?
Like an 18-year-old's gonna want to fucking text all the goddamn time and want attention and shit, whereas like a 28 or 30-year-old woman is more independent.
I mean, it just depends, I guess, what you're going for. If you're looking for like a life partner or a girlfriend or a friend with benefits or what you're going for.